What's up, adventurers? My name is Platinum Phoenix, and welcome back to Pokemon FireRed. Last time, we went around Fuchsia City and defeated Koga for our 6th gym badge. And this time, we're going to be going over the Safari Zone. So, the Safari Zone is actually pretty large, and there are 2 things in it specifically that you need to get. So, we're going to do a couple of passes through the Safari Zone. The first time I go through it, I'm basically just going to beeline for those 2 items that we actually need to progress the story. And then I'll go through it again and talk about all the new Pokemon that are in it and try to get as many items as I can. But the main thing about the Safari Zone is that, welcome to the Safari Zone. For just $500, you can play the Safari game. You can roam the wide open safari and catch what you like. Would you like to play? Yes. And I believe that we only have 500 steps to get to the back of the Safari Zone. And the Safari Zone's split up into 4 different zones, but I'm just going to sort of ignore that for right now and show you the most direct path. So if we go that way, we'll get into Zone 1, and then there's no way to actually avoid wild encounters in here, I don't believe. I forget if you can actually use repels or not. Let me check, now that I think about it. That's Pokemon. That's still Pokemon. Repels. Where are my repels? Oh, I guess you can use repels. This place is a little weird because it forces you to fight and catch Pokemon without ever battling them, actually. And it kind of makes it a lot more difficult to get harder to catch Pokemon in here. And trust me, there are harder to catch Pokemon in here, as we'll go over in a little bit. But now we're in Area 2, and I believe if we just run all the way around this way and down over here, that'll get us to this path, which will lead us to Area 3, and this is the first item we have to grab. The gold teeth. And funnily enough, there's a sign right here that if we read it, request notice. Please find the Safari Warden's lost gold teeth. They're around here somewhere. Reward offered. Contact Warden. It's funny, because they put it right here, and the gold teeth were right here, so it's like look down. Also, I'm just gonna grab this because it's here and I don't plan to come back all the way back here. And that was TM32 Double Team, I believe, which is a move that allows you to raise your evasion on your Pokemon. But this guy is the other one we need to talk to. Ah, finally! You're the first person to read the secret house. Although I made a campaign for our grand opening, I was getting worried that no one would win our campaign prize. Congratulations, you have won, and we get HM03 for our troubles, which is Surf. Pokemon will be able to ferry you across the water using it, and this HM isn't disposable, so you can use it over and over. You're super lucky for winning this fabulous prize. And actually, one of our rewards for beating Koga last episode was that we are now able to surf freely. So if we go into our TM case, and I believe it's scroll up to it. Yeah, right here, we use it. Why can Zodiac learn Surf? That's weird. I'm just going to teach Tortle Surf because it's the most obvious thing to do, and I'm just going to get rid of Water Pulse because this is just strong Water Pulse. And shove the disc into Tortle's head. And now, what we can do is if we go up to a body of water and press A on it a couple of times, we can ride on top of Tortle. And that will help us get across any of these bodies of water that we couldn't previously get across. Tossing rocks at Pokemon might make them run, but they'll be easier to catch. Using bait will make Pokemon more likely to stick around if they get busy eating. And I hike a lot, but I don't see any Pokemon I wanted. Well, there's a ton of them in here, trust me. I'm just gonna run around until my steps end and see if I can find any more items around here. because I'll be honest, Area 3 is the one area that doesn't have any new Pokemon compared to the other areas. Because of the way I'm going to be talking about the Pokemon. So if I can conserve how much time I have to spend over here, the better. We're just going to... Are you kidding me? I don't want the eggs. Even though they're technically seeds, according to Pokedex entries everywhere. I just gotta put on another repellent because I'm tired of dealing with them. I should have enough steps to get over to that item, I'm hoping. Come on. Yes. Oh, a max revive. That's actually a really helpful item. And there's nothing up here, I don't think. No, that just leads us back to Area 2. And this will lead us back to the main area. And I don't believe there's anything that we super need. Like I said, I'm just collecting items until the timer goes off. And using Turtle, we'll just go back over here. And were there any items over here that I missed? I don't believe so. Oh, ding dong. Time's up. Your safari game is over. Did you catch your fair share? Come again. I literally caught nothing. But what we want to do now is with the golden teeth and HM surf, if we come down here, I'm just going to cut these open to make these a little bit faster. If we come down here to that warden we talked to last episode, the one that was speaking gibberish, and give him the gold teeth, he will give us, thanks son, you're a real lifesaver. No one could understand a word that I said, not a one. I was too ashamed to show my face around the office even. Let me give you something for your trouble. And he gives us HM04, which is strength. And I forget if we actually have the badge that we need to use strength, but I am going to teach it to Zodiac in exchange for Thrash. Even though Thrash is stronger, I don't like being trapped into a move for several turns. So I'm just going to forget Thrash and learn Strength. Because Strength is actually super helpful for different things that we'll need to do later. Specifically right here, if we just use Strength on this rock, if we have... I guess we have the badge that lets us use it. I forget which badge it is. But we can get a rare candy from here. And now, we're going to go through each of the areas of the Safari Zone and talk about what you can find in each of the areas. Also, I made a wrong turn, so I'm going to cut down this tree. And this is going to be a long section because there are a ton of Pokemon that become available through the Safari Zone. So just bear with me while we go through them. All right, in the main area of the Safari Zone, the first new Pokemon that is gained access to is Nidorino. The big thing about Nidorino is it misses out on Thrash from catching it here. It's just... Honestly, I don't think it's worth catching it here. It's easier if you would have caught it on Route 3 and just trained it up into a Nidoking. You saw it took almost no time to get to a Nidoking, but if you do catch it here, you can evolve it immediately and it doesn't lose anything from it. After Nidorino is Nidorina. It has the exact same problems as Nidorino. It misses out on Body Slam, which is one of the best moves Nidorina can get. So you can also just evolve it whenever you want because you're not missing out on anything. After the Nidos, you can catch Parasect. And Parasect's big thing is that you can catch it knowing Spore, which is the best sleep move in the game, making Pokemon a lot easier to catch. Other than that, I've shown that Paras and Parasect are really good HM Pokemon, and even going forward, they're still really good HM Pokemon. Other than that, they're not great in battle other than the Spore thing for catching Pokemon, mostly because of their terrible typing, being weak to several types, including 2 4x weaknesses. But after Parasect is Execute, our first truly new Pokemon. Execute is one of the few Grass-type Pokemon in the game that is not also a Poison-type, being a Grass Psychic type, which is actually a really good combination. It evolves by a Leaf Stone, and I would say have it evolved by level 31. That way you can get the move Egg Bomb, which is actually really good and pretty decent on Execute and Executor. Other than that, it can be given Giga Drain and Psychic through TMs, and we have both of those TMs already, so it can become really strong almost immediately after you catch it. Other than that, it becomes a pretty decent special attacker, and is really nice to use in a role if you are still looking for a Grass or a Psychic type. After Execute is Rhyhorn. Rhyhorn becomes a very defensive physical attacker, learning moves like Earthquake and Mega Horn through level up, and even having a pretty decent TM list, learning a decent amount of physical attacks, like I believe it learns Return, Iron Tail, Earthquake, and moves like that through TMs. But weirdly enough, it also learns a lot of special attacks through TMs, which is weird because it has a whole 30 special attack. Other than that, it can also learn Rock Slide through Move Tutor, which is really good on it, being able to hit 2 Pokemon in double battles and being able to flinch Pokemon if it moves first. And the next Pokemon that can be found here very rarely is Chansey. And by very rarely, I mean 1% of the time. It's like one of the rarest Pokemon in the game. It also has a 5% chance of being caught with the Lucky Egg, which is an amazing item because it doubles the experience that you get from battles. Other than that, it's a really good HM tank, being able to tank special attacks very well. Although any physical attack basically just ruins it. Also, it can evolve into Blissey because Blissey didn't exist in Gen 1, so it doesn't get the added benefits that Blissey had. But it is a pretty decent support Pokemon, having moves like Soft Boil, Sing, and Light Screen through level up, and Toxic, Safeguard, and Rest through TM. And the only other Pokemon that can be found in the main area that we have not gone over yet is Dragonair. Specifically, while fishing with the Super Rod, you can find Dragonair very rarely 1% of the time. And the main benefit of it is it just skips past having to have a Dratini, because Dratini is miserably weak. It still takes 20 to 30 levels to evolve into Dragonite, which is still a grind and a slog to get there. But Dragonair is certainly better than Dratini, and is a pretty fine Pokemon altogether. It also has a 5% chance of holding a Dragon Fang when you catch it, which just powers up Dragon-type moves, and is pretty decent on a Dragonite, all things considered. Also, Dragonair also only has 2 weaknesses, being Ice and Dragon-type, which are 2 of the types that have the least amount of Pokemon in the game, although some of the most powerful, so I would still watch out for them. And other than that, Dragonair has the same amazing TM list that Dratini had all that time ago. But I just want to try to catch this Rhyhorn real quick because, well, it's here. Is it gonna run? It's watching carefully. Come on, catch it. Catch the Rhyhorn. Rhyhorn, get in the ball. Rhyhorn! Why, Rhyhorn, I swear to... What? What was that? What was... what was that animation? 1, 2, 3... Nice. Just an extra Pokemon to add to the Pokedex. Why is it on the same screen as Sandshrew and Sandslash? That's weird. No relation to those two whatsoever. But now we're heading over to Area 1, which we can see on this map. And the only new Pokemon that can be found in Area 1 is Kangaskhan. And Kangaskhan is one of the most offensive normal types in the game. It has a massive normal type, or a massive attack stat, which allows it to use a ton of moves that it gets through TMs very effectively, like Shadow Ball, Hyper Beam, Earthquake, Iron Tail, and even Brick Break it gets. It's an amazing Pokemon to use those, and it's also decently quick, all things considered. The only real downsides that it has is that its level up moves is pretty lackluster, but if you catch it here, it will be caught knowing Fake Out, which is an amazing move that it has. And also, I know I haven't talked about shinies very much, but I just want to bring up that this is what the shiny of Kangaskhan looks like, and it looks amazing. It basically just gives it the same color scheme as the little baby that it carries around, and it is so adorable, and I love it. But with Kangaskhan gone over, I'm just going to continue heading on out of here over to Area 2. I completely missed that Pokeball. I'll have to come back for it. But in Area 2, there are actually 2 new Pokemon that you can find. The first of them is Venomoth. And Venomoth has the same strength and weaknesses of Venonat that I went over a couple of episodes ago. It has a bad typing for both offense and defense. It becomes a decent, or it is a decent special attacker, having decently high special attack and decent speed, so it can outspeed at least a couple of things. And it has access to all of the powder moves as well as a couple of psychic moves, giving it at least a decent moveset. The only other thing is that it skips the weak Venonat stage, meaning that you don't have to slug through having a Venonat, which I would say is pretty nice. And the other Pokemon that can be found in Area 2 is a really nice one. It's Tauros. And Tauros is a fast physical attacker. It has an amazing ability in Intimidate, but it also has a couple of downsides. Mainly, its level up moveset is abysmal, learning like nothing. It also doesn't really learn much through TM, only getting like Iron Tail, Earthquake, Return, and Hyper Beam as really good physical moves through it. But it's a really decent Pokemon, and I would say if you're looking for a normal type, you could do a lot worse. But now, with all of those Pokemon gone over, we are just going to run around here until our time runs out and collect as many items as we can. Oh, those are nice 2 items that I just found. In a protein and the TM for Steel Wing, which is super nice to have. I think I want to try to get back to Area 1 and try to get that Pokeball that I missed, if I can. And I'm leaving Repels off because I kind of want to have a chance to run into the 1% Pokemon that are around here. Nope, I'm not going to get it. I'll have to go in between episodes and get the rest of the items. And I'll be sure to list all of the items that you can find on screen right now, as well as now that we're out of the maze that is the Safari Zone, I'm going to show the map of the Safari Zone so you can actually see somewhat of how to get through it, even though I just ran through it. Just so you have a map to make it a little bit easier. But with all of that gone over, that is everything that Fuchsia and the Safari Zone has to offer us. So I think we are going to call it here. Actually, before I call it, I want to show one more thing because I'm extremely excited about it and I just think it's really cool. Last episode, I was talking about how I was item grinding to get a bunch of items for my Pokemon. But while I was item grinding, I found something real interesting. This Doduo right here is a shiny Doduo that I just randomly found running back and forth looking for Fearow. So, I just thought it was real neat. And something really interesting that I just have now. Also, I'm gonna move Pidgey over here just so it's out of the way and I know where my flying HM Pokemon is. But now with that gone over and showing off my cool new shiny Pokemon that I caught, I think we're going to end it here. So I hope that everyone enjoyed watching. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Next time, we're going to head out of Fuchsia, down through Route 19, and towards our next gym badge. But until then, happy adventuring.